The other day I was directed to an article in a blog. The blog itself is called Nonprofit Status, and the article is actually one of three. This one in particular that I'm going to be talking about is called 2010 American Atheist Convention, The Ugly, or When I Cried. Now, during my weekend at the American Atheist Convention, a lot of the speakers and a lot of the people in general were talking about how we need to stop the infighting within the atheist, agnostic, humanist, free-thinking, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, within that community. And I agree. So when I was making this video, I was thinking about how I was going to do this, and was it even worth doing? Or am I just contributing to the infighting? I want to skip a lot of what I would have originally said, because there's no point to it. And the person who wrote this blog and I obviously have something in common in that we belong to the same community. We're ultimately trying to achieve the same thing. But there are some very important things that I want to point out in this person's article. And I'm going to post this article in the sidebar. Whatever, fuck it. I think it's down here now. The sidebar's down here. It's not even a sidebar. I'm going to post the article so you guys can read it. Make up your own decisions. And the great thing about this article is he references a lot to Edwin Kagan's speeches that he gave, and I have posted almost in its entirety Edwin Kagan's speech. All of it is on YouTube. I will also post those links down there as well. So after you read the article, you can go watch the videos and you can see if what this guy is saying matches up with what you think. First of all, I want to say that I am one of the 3 young white women who dressed up in a burqa that day at the American Atheist Convention. Here's my specific problem, sir, or madam, with your article. And I want to quote this. I don't mean to sensationalize, but I couldn't help but wonder if what I felt in that moment was akin to what it must be like to be a non-racist white person at a community meeting who suddenly realizes she or he is in fact attending a Ku Klux Klan rally, watching with frozen horror and nausea as the organizers parade men in blackface before an audience that hoots and hollers with glee. Your comparison of the American Atheist Convention to white supremacists is indeed sensational, and that entire paragraph that you just wrote in there could have been left out. I know that you have no sense of humor, even though you apparently like to think you have one, but you have no sense of humor, and the fact that you just compared an entire group of people to racist white supremacists is amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. The second thing that I want to point out, and this is a small thing, and this is, I know, should be in another video, but I just want to point this out real quick. This is in reference to our Back in Their Burqas Again song. The song was intended to call out the repression of women in some forms of Islam, but I also couldn't help but think of a dear friend who wears the hijab because it makes her feel empowered and in touch with the tradition of her people, and how grossly this song misrepresented her. The fact that your friend feels empowered by being oppressed is also amazing. Like I said, I should have left that for another video, but I couldn't because I just had to put it in here. I felt that it was important. I felt that it was important that you tried to make the distinction. And here's the third thing that I have a problem with. I will quote again. I stuck it out the whole time, even though, and I am terribly embarrassed to admit this because it rarely happens, I began to cry. I remain for the sake of journalistic integrity, to hear it out from start to finish, to be fair before offering my account. Good for you on that, by the way. And for the sake of a full awareness of the state of affairs of the largest atheist group in America. It took a lot of willpower to stay fixed in my seat. I honestly can't recall the last time I felt such shame. I felt so wholly wrong for sitting quietly in the back of the room instead of speaking up. I wanted to say something but didn't know what to say or how to say it. I still don't. You are a coward. The fact that you had a problem with everything that was going on in your community, no less. These are people that you would call part of your community, and you did nothing. Out of fear, out of shame, out of lack of something to say, I don't know. I don't care. You're a coward. I don't mind when people disagree with things that I'm doing. That's gonna happen. In fact, I welcome it, because if we were all the same, that'd be boring as hell. But the fact that you just sat there, you didn't even go out of your way to talk to Edwin at the dinners, or when he was milling around in the halls, or to talk to one of us girls who was dressed up in a burqa. The fact that you didn't even bother to do any of that makes you a coward. So while I don't mind that you disagreed with everything that happened there, I disagree with the points that you've made in your blog. And that's all that I want to say. You and I are still part of the same community. You and I are still working toward the same thing, just in different ways. So, therefore, I'm not saying that I dislike you because of the person that you are. I'm saying that I dislike what you've written here, and I don't appreciate it. This video that I'm making is merely to dissent with the things that you've written. That's it. That's all. I'm not saying you have to change your ways, or that you have to take down your blog or anything. In fact, I think you should leave it up, because I think it's good to have an opposing opinion to things that happen there. I'm simply saying that I don't agree with it, and I think it was an unfair representation of a lot that happened there during the weekend, and especially during Edwin Kagan's speech, which is why I'm now directing everybody to go read this article and go watch his videos.